Often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we bump draft with the CRA. Tonight we are live at Daytona 2007 Speedway for round number 11 of the Cyber Association Drive for Autism Super Speedway Series. I am a commentator, Sean Zulu. I am joined by my good friend and producer, Dave Everly. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Sean?
Oh, I am doing good too, thank you. Just ready to do some bump drafting at a very, very bumpy track. These guys will have quite a workout by the end of it. But Dave, start off by telling us a little bit about tonight's race, please. Otherwise.
Well, we are here at Daytona 2007. The weather's looking 78 degrees out. Track temperature about 86 degrees. The wind 2 miles an hour out of the north, and we are under clear conditions.
And the drivers have once again a 50% fuel limit. That is 50%, which gives us 2 to 3 required pit stops. 3 required pit stops. Enough for the drivers to be able to make it the full length of the race, 75 laps. So that will make things very, very interesting, and the drivers should exercise extra caution by entering the pits, because here the pit entrance is way closer than the paved 2011 Daytona. But going over last week's results from Daytona 2011 with the trucks, Bobby Tinch did bring it home for his second win of the season. Rod Newford came out second, Poor Servant third, Jeremy Funk fourth, Matthew Wilson back fifth, Travis Stewart sixth, Raymond Rittner the second, seventh, Chris Akers, defending champion, came out eighth, Roger Stewart ninth, and James Peterson did round up the top 10. And moving on to our current point standings, we still have Rod Newford still leading in points. That's Rod Newford still leading in points. Travis Stewart and Paul Servant are now tied for a second place this week in points. Raymond Rittner the second, still third in points. Dana Osborne going from 5th place to 4th this week. Mark Jorgensen Jr. from 6th to 5th. We have Thomas Labar from 7th to 6th. Gary Champion from 8th to 7th. We have Sawyer Ott from 9th to 8th. Bobby Tinch back in the top 10 in 9th, and Jeremy Funk back in the top 10 in 10th, and that does round up the top 10 in points. Well, Dave, we are getting there. The end of the regular season, right before the chase begins. After tonight's race, we will have one more race remaining before the chase begins. That means that the drivers will be trying their best to have a very, very good finish, or very good finishes these last two races, so they can be able to lock themselves into this chase, so they can be able to fight for the championship. They are trying their best to defeat defending champion Chris Akers, and they can only manage that one way. And the first step would be to first get themselves locked in, and the second would be to have amazing finishes during the chase series. But Dave, it all comes down to teamwork at tracks like these.
Yeah, and as you said, gotta be careful. It's a bumpy track, so they gotta watch when they're bump drafted.
Absolutely nicely said. And we have some viewers in the chat. James Peterson is racing tonight with Radical Racing. We have Gregory Thompson. Good to see you there, Greg. Good to see you again. We missed you last week. You didn't race, but you were there cheering on the leader, your teammates out there, and everybody else. Good to see you there, Greg. And Timothy Petite. Good to see you there, buddy. And we also do have some team standings, team championships. Leading in points still is Race Fan Racing, and right behind them is Radical Racing. Checker One Motorsports third in points. Sorry about that. Rebel Racing fourth in points, and Sim Nation Racing fifth in points, for a total of 5 teams racing each other in points to try and beat each other, because teamwork does make everything work. Here at tracks like these. Once again, Daytona, Talladega. This is Daytona 2007, the unpaved version. So it's going to be extra bumpy, and the drivers will have to be very careful when bump drafting, because once you hook somebody, those bumps will work against you, and that just might cause the biggest wreck known to mankind. And looks like we are about to advance into the gridding session, as qualifying has now finally officially ended. We do have some new drivers and returning drivers. Let's see, scanning through this field here, I'm looking at my list. We have the 34 of Corey M. Boudinot back after a long time of not racing. 43 of David Anderson back as well. Ronald Kingston as well is back. Let's see who else. And also Earl Arts Jr., the 126, is racing tonight. And looks like we have advanced into the gridding session. So we will give the drivers a few seconds before going down the list. And we already have Timothy Petito taking the post sitter. So ladies and gentlemen, you too, let us know who you're rooting for there in the chat. And we will definitely keep you guys updated on their performance here before the race ends. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, tonight's post sitter is the points leader, who has been for the longest time possible this season, Rod Newford. Mark Jorgensen Jr. returning, starting second right beside him. 43 of David Anderson third. The 9 of Paul Servant fourth. The 8 of Dana Osborne fifth. The 87 of Remo Rittenhouse the second, sixth. 82 of Daniel Harrington seventh. The 00 of Dwayne Cooper eighth. The 49 of Ronald Kingston ninth. And Bobby Tinch, last week's winner, for a 2-time winner this season so far, starting in 10th place. And that so far does round up the top 10. 58 of James or Jim Peterson starting in 11th. The 21 of William Flamhotes 12th. 81 of Christopher Berry, good to see him again, it's been a while, 13th. The 34 of Corey M. Boudinot 14th. The 5 of Thomas Labar 15th. The 4 of Justin Levine 16th. 18 of Gary Champion 17th. Marty Ray 18th. And 126 of Earl Arts Jr. 19th. Roger Stewart bringing out the field in the 20th place position. And further down this list, we have the 62 of Zachary Hale, 21st. The 20 of Lance Marsh, 22nd. The 97 of Jeremy Funk, 23rd. 35 Sawyer Ott, 24th. The 7 of Gregory Thompson, 25th. The 54 of Chris Akers, starting 26th. And Jason Kins running up the whole entire field in the 27th place spot. So tonight, we do have 27 machines starting tonight. For 75 laps, ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn ready, get your drinks ready. It will be a bumpy ride, literally and figuratively. This is Daytona 2007. It has claimed a lot of drivers. And let's see tonight who will be claimed because the drivers will be trying their best to beat the track here. And Dave, in every single race, we have seen at least one driver on his lid, flipping in every single direction possible. The question is, who is going to be the victim tonight?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. Who's going to be? But hopefully we don't have any victims. Maybe we'll go green flag racing. We're just going to have to wait and see, Sean.
Absolutely. And our victim last week at Daytona 2011, with the trucks being on his lid, was the 9 of Paul Servant. He had a heck of a flip, I should say, some serious flips. So tonight he is hoping history does not repeat itself, but right now we are still being led by Rodney Ilford on the inside with the help of the 43 of David Anderson. On the outside is Mark Jorgensen Jr. with the help of the 87 of Raymond Rittenhouse II. Actually, scratch that. Looks like on the outside we will have the 9 of Paul Servant, who will be assisted by the 87 of Raymond Rittenhouse II, exiting turn 4, going green, this time by. The green flag flies, they open it on the floor, the drivers are now green on the inside, 8 of Dana Osborne bumping on the 43 of David Anderson, who is in turn trying to catch a 3 of Rodney Wolford on the outside line. 9 of Post 787 written out the second, trying their best to make it work before they exit off turn number 2, but the drivers still get up to speed here, nice and strong. A long way to go. Dwayne Cooper will be third place on the outside line behind Raymond the second, who is pushing on the 9 of Paul Servant.
Well, the thing is, Sean, these guys are in the K&N cars. So, what that means, these cars are fast. We are going to have speeds of almost 200 mile an hour, maybe a little over 200 mile an hour. We'll see here tonight. But as we are taking a look here, it looks like that outside lane's not quite coming to. Even though the 9 there, Paul Servant, Raymond Rittenhour II, and Dwayne Cooper are starting to group up. But Rodney Wolford and David Anderson and Dana there is just making a move, but Dana jumps to the outside, leaving Rodney Wolford and David Anderson out to dry.
Yep, the outside line on Daytona 2007, this track right here, the outside line is the best place to be because it does seem to have less bumps, which means, you know, you will wear your tires less because of that, and you will have more straightaway speed due to being able to maintain most of your speed throughout the turns. And up front, the 9 of Paul Servant drops down in front of his teammate, the 3 of Rodney Wolford, and that leaves the 87 written at the second to lead the outside of the help of an 8 of Dana Osborne, and Dave for the back in the pack, Bobby Tinch pushing on the 82 of Daniel Harrington. These drivers trying their best to not touch the apron. The apron is the worst place, is the worst. You don't want to touch the apron doing over 195 miles an hour. That is a recipe for disaster. And right now the outside line does seem to be getting bunched up as we speak, nice and strong. And the inside just might fade away, but so far not yet, not quite. They are still fighting to maintain the lead.
Yeah, but once again, it's a bumpier track. This is the Daytona before they repaved it. So these guys got to be patient because we do have stage races here. Once again, stage 1 will be lap 25 coming to lap 26. Top 5 will get bonus points. If there's not a caution, they will throw a competition caution at that time. Stage 2 will be lap 50 coming to 51. Once again, if there was no caution during that stage, they will once again throw a competition caution. Then, of course, there's lap 75, the end of the race.
Yeah, the drivers know they do have a lot of laps left before the end of the first segment. So once those segments get closer, we will see a lot of drivers finding fifth gear and racing as hard as they can to try and lead to be in the top 5 of the towards the end of the segment, so they can be able to get those extra bonus points. But up front, the Raymond the second did drop down to the inside line, leaving actually the Dwayne Cooper and the 8 of Ben Osborne as well clear the inside line and drop down in front of the 87 written of the second. And that leaves the 49 of Ronald Kingston to lead the outside to help with 58 of James Peterson, with Radical Racing for the day for the back in the pack. That 34 of Corey Boudinot right now trying to make some moves, but at the same time still riding, trying to stay alive to the very end.
Yeah, but we got one car there down on the apron there. I don't know what happened, but he's back up on the track here. But we are still green flag racing here to see if I can see exactly who that was. I think they're still down there.
Dave, That was the 21 of William Flamholtz. He just chose to go down to the apron to let everybody by as a way to go at the back. But yeah, no harm was done there by the 21 of William Flamholtz. So this thing still stays green and he gets his wish. He does end up going to the back of the pack, but because of that move, he has lost the draft of the lead pack. But luckily for him, he has two drivers catching up to him, two machines. The 6 of Roger Stewart and that's going to be 20 of Lance Marsh.
Yeah, but they're going to have to hook up because I'll tell you what, that front pack, though, it's got a lot of cars. I don't think that 3-car pack's going to be able to catch them because they are putting out speeds right now. I see 199, 200 mile an hour. Yep, I saw 201 mile an hour as they were coming through the turn. So these cars are up to speed and cranking.
Yep, and those drivers finally hooked up. The 20 of Lance Marsh, 6 of Roger Stewart, and the 21 of William Flamholtz. And I'm noticing one thing: the 6 of Roger Stewart is missing his partner, his partner in crime, who has been all season long, his son, the 77 of Travis Stewart. So tonight, Davey will try and find other teammates to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of race you gotta be able to work with people. You gotta have somebody pushing, because running here by yourself at Daytona, you're gonna go a lap down real quick.
Absolutely, and Dave will have a driver who is lagging back in the pack, the 88 of Mark Jorgensen, who had a looks like he missed the start actually. So because of that, he has no draft. He is being shown 36 seconds behind the lead pack and dropping down to 41. Just keeps dropping as we speak due to that speed difference. He is pushing 182 to about 185 miles an hour max speed before the end of the straightaways. So right now he is definitely hoping for a caution so he can be able to get back up to pace with everybody else to avoid going lap down. And at the same time, Zachary Hale is in the same boat. He has lost the draft, being shown 28 seconds behind this lead pack. So both Hale and Jorgensen are way behind the lead pack.
Well, Jorgensen's got to be careful because taking a look here at their leader, the 00 Dwayne Cooper, leading out here tonight, leading 3 laps so far here. He is catching him in a hurry. They are coming up on him, and they are double fouls. So this is going to be tricky of seeing how they're going to be able to get around the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. on this bumpy Daytona.
Yep, the closer we get to him, the more intense it becomes. The outside so far, Raymond in the second is being pushed with the 49 of Ronald Kingston, trying to get around Observe Cooper and the 8 of Dana Osborne. Oh, but they must make contact on the inside. The 8 of Osborne and the 87 written on the second, but they are able to stay off each other. Exiting turn 4 this time by the 8 of Jorgensen does stay behind to let the drivers by, and no harm done.
Yep, but now their next victim that's going to put him be the first car lap down. So hopefully he can just jump in behind this pack, ride with them. Hope that the next caution that comes out, well, there will be a caution. If there's not a caution during the segment, just remember they will throw a competition caution after the end of segment number 1.
And luckily for him, Mark Jorgensen was able to get the draft of this lead pack, so his speed is getting nothing but higher. And at this point, he most likely will try and race hard to try and get up to his race fan racing teammates up there. But just race hard so he can be able to get his lap back the hard way. But being the first only driver lap down, that means that's a guaranteed wave run for him once he if a caution comes out. If a caution comes out, that's a very, very big if. And we have a new viewer in the chat, or our usual viewer, Carol, in the chat, rooting for the 58 of James Peterson. Good to see you there, Carol. And the 5 of Tom Labarde jumps up to the outside to pick up the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. right outside, but so the 126 of Earl Arts Jr. And their speed is getting nothing but higher. They just pushed 203 miles an hour max, entering turn number 3. They get a slingshot off turn 4, and now the next victim on the outside line looks like that will be at the 35 of Sawyer Ott.
Yeah, most definitely here, lap 12, which means we have 14 laps until the end of segment 1. These guys are running real good here tonight. They have been real cautious. They have been careful. They're giving a little bit of gap. Not seeing any bump drafting in the corners. I've noticed that, especially with these latest builds here on iRacing, bump drafting in the corners is not a very wise idea.
Especially when it comes down to these K&N cars, Dave. You know, they do see... Oh, bad net code 34 goes sideways. Big wreck. Entering turn number 3. That involved 34. I'm trying to get a number. Another 34 of Corey and Boudinot was involved in the incident. So was the 35 of Sawyer Odd. Let's back it up on Corey and see what happened.
Well, as I pull up the Dre Broadcasting instant replay here, we are going to focus on the 34 machine as we go back and take a look at this and see exactly what happened. As we see him riding there, ooh, just got a little squirrely there, and unfortunately the guys behind him had nowhere to go. And let's see if we can get another look here and see exactly how he got squirrely. As we are now looking here at the 34 machine, 35 right behind him. Oh, bad net code between him and the 18 of Gary Champion, it looked like. Didn't really see any contact, but that is going to bring out our first caution of the night, Sean.
Absolutely. Very, very unfortunate indeed for every single driver involved. Bobby Tinch. Also involved him, 97 of Jeremy Funk, the 7 of Gregory Thompson, the 34 of Corey Boudinot. And also looks like Christopher Berry. I think Christopher Berry was able to get out of that and scratch, but that was definitely unfortunate for every single driver involved. But that's going to make Mark Jorgensen and Zachary Hale very happy because they will be able to get their laps back.
Yep, and we are going to see everybody down on pit road. I do believe the 88 is going to stay out, being a lap down, him and the 62 of Zachary Hale.
And look at that, Dave. We have Mr. Super Speedway himself, 29 of Matthew Wells, and not racing tonight, but he is cheering on his teammates. Good to see you there, Matt, and enjoy the wedding. Like you said, yep, everybody went down pit road except for those two leaders. Well, except for those two lap cars, Mark Johnson and Zachary Hale. They both get the waiver on the pace car and back on the lead lap they are. And now it's time for them to start digging and get up front the best they can. And Jeremy Funk just pitted in as well. He pitted in before everybody else due to having heavy damage. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get the lead. Actually, no, because since he pitted in before pit road was open, he will be getting the end of the line penalty and being sent to the back of the pack here before too long. Oh, Matt, you'd rather be racing? Yeah, you are missing out. And so far, Dave, looks like the heaviest movers we've had in the top 10. The 4 of Justin Levine has gone from 16th place to 8th. Marty Ray from 18th to 11th. Gary Champion from 17th to 12th. Sawyer Ott from 24th to 14th, gaining 10 spots this far. And defending champion 54 of Chris Akers, 26th to 15th this far.
Yeah, most definitely. So taking a look here, I think we are going to have 2 to green. Yep, next time around we should get the 1 to green here, as it looks like the 34 machine is making his way off pit road right now. But he is the last car on the lead lap.
Ooh, Dave, he chose not to use his backup car. And that machine definitely has seen better days. But Dave, fingers crossed, and hopefully the damage doesn't affect him, if any. I mean, any at all.
And it's mostly back-end damage, it looks like. So he may be all right, but he may be saving that that quick fix just in case there's another incident he gets involved in.
Absolutely playing it smart, and if that's the case, Dave, he will desperately need someone to be on his rear end to try and counter that damage. Because that will really work in his favor if he has someone pushing him. Because pushing most likely is out of the equation. But going back up front, Dana Osborne still leading in the top 5. Or is Dana Osborne, Dwayne Cooper, Paul Servant, Rodney Wolford, and Raymond the second. That's Raymond Rittenau the second. That's first through 5th respectively. And with 43 of David Anderson 6th, Marty Ray 7th, James Peterson 8th, Gary Champion 9th, and Justin Levine in the top 10.
Yeah, most definitely so. This will be interesting, especially with us being so close to the start of the chase. Yeah, these guys know that they've got to get on the ball here because the chase is coming.
Yep, the chase is coming, and since we have a lot of different teams racing out there, the drivers are not only trying to get themselves into this chase, they are also trying their best to get their teammates or help get their teammates locked into this chase. So here you'll be seeing a lot more teamwork than ever before in order for the drivers to be successful. So the top 16 drivers in points will be advancing to the chase. But the good thing is the drop weeks will help them because some of their worst races will not count against them, which is a good bonus. And we are now back 1 to green.
Yep, and we are going to be led with Dana Osborne down on the inside, Dwayne Cooper starting on the outside. Then you got Paul Servant, Rodney Wolford, Dana's teammates, starting in the second row. Raymond Rittenauer, David Anderson starting the third row. Jim Peterson, Marty Ray starting in the fourth row. Gary Champion and Ronald Kingston will be starting in your fifth row.
Yep, and Dave, only a few more laps remaining before the end of segment number 1. That's 10 laps specifically. So which means the closer we get to the end of this segment, ladies and gentlemen, the harder the racing becomes, because the drivers are trying their best to be among the top 5 in order to get those extra bonus points, and those extra bonus points do matter very much at this point in the season, because once again every point matters, and especially getting into this chase. So it's going to be very, very important to get those points for most of these drivers, if not all the drivers, because we do have some drivers already locked into the chase. I believe Roy Newford, most likely at this point, has been locked into the chase, but do not quote me on that. Exiting turn 4, going green, this time by. The pace car is off. The green flag flies. Dana Osborne, no hesitation, puts it on the floor, the outside of the 3 of Wooford, all over the 0 of Dwayne Cooper for the start-finish line. On the inside is the 9 of Paul Servant, trying his best to catch his teammate, the 8 of Dana Osborne. Successful mission, and entering turn 1, they are hooked up, but the 87 right now, the second, will try his best to keep the 9 of Servant glued on the 8 of Dana Osborne before the exit of turn number 2 on the for the back of the pack, the 49 of Ronald Kingston, right behind the 58 of James Peterson, taps the wall, gets back out of it unharmed. But that paint job will get some scratches in it, but no harm done. And so far, Ron Kingston still getting up to speed, trying his best to catch 58 of James Peterson.
Yeah, that outside lane's a little disconnected there, Sean, so they're not as fast, but I tell you that Rodney Wolford and Dwayne Cooper are doing a great job, because here comes the 43 of David Anderson, is the 00 Dwayne Cooper is going to get around. Is he going to clear? Yes, he is, and he is going to drop down, become the new leader, but oh man, here comes Dana Osborne though. So right now, Dwayne Cooper leading the inside, Rodney Wolford on the outside.
Yep, and David Anderson right now takes over the responsibility of pushing the 3 of Wooford and maintaining or increasing the pace, or I should say maintaining the pace of the outside line. And so 58 of James Peterson right behind him, trying to be of assistance, but in the turns he is backing off to avoid easily hooking the 43 of Anderson, because with this match speed comes a lot of squirreliness, especially when they have so many bumps. I can't speak, I apologize. And for the back in the pack, the 11 of Jason Kaiser has made his way up to the close to the top 10, Dave. He went from 27th place to 11th as we speak.
Yep, he's up here in the lead pack, as looks like they're starting to separate here. Taking a look back, there's another little pack there, but then there's a bigger pack. Oh, big wreck up front. A lot of all of the leaders involved. Holy smokes, there is cars rolling all over the track.
82 Jenna Harrington involved, the 54 Chris Akers, 21 of William Flamholtz, the 18 of Gary Champion, 62 of Zachary Hale, 49 of Ron Kingston, the 8 of Dana Osborne on his lid. Oh man, I don't even know who to focus on the replay, but Dave, let's back it up on Dana Osborne and see what happened.
Yeah, it looked like a hook with the 00 Dwayne Cooper, and it was just a major wreck here. Pow up on the backstretch. Definitely, let's take a look here, get back, and we'll look from the blimp view here as they are running, and just all the cars involved. Oh man, that is definitely going to shake it up, especially with the end of the stage coming up here very soon. Wow, that was some major carnage.
Oh man, yep, major carnage early on. Very, very unfortunate indeed for every single driver involved. This most likely will be the biggest wreck we see, but don't hold me against that. So to that, the race is still young, but once again, very unfortunate indeed for every single driver involved in the 8 of Dana Osborne being the first victim to be on his lid, flipping in every single direction possible. But hopefully he's doing okay. He will be going down pit road this time by to get his backup machine, because that machine definitely needs... Dana has finally blown his motor. Very, very unfortunate indeed. Hopefully he's able to make it down to his pit stop, Dave.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cars down on pit road, but there's going to be a lot not staying out, because I bet you any money, our top 5 right now, Paul Servant, Raymond Rittenauer, Jason Kinzer, William Flamholtz, Justin Levine, will not be going down pit road, because we are only 5 laps away from the completion of stage number 1.
Yep, and since they only have about 7 laps on their tanks at this point, that shouldn't affect him too much, if any. Yep, they do stay out. Top 5 drivers, yep, stay out, just like you had talked about, Dave. And we have, let's see, Bobby Tinch, Mark Jorgensen, Gary Champion, Sawyer Ott, Jeremy Funk, Daniel Harrington, Chris Akers, James Peterson, and Lance Marsh, all down pit road, including Dwayne Cooper, Rodney Newford, David Anderson, Marty Ray, Ron Kingston, Zachary Hale, and Earl Arch Jr., all down pit road. And most of these drivers were the ones who were got a piece of the action that brought out this caution. It's a very, very busy time for the pit crews on pit road, and a lot of brand new machines getting put out of those big trucks. So drivers should be able to get back out here and stay competitive before this thing ends. And now we have, let's see, 4 laps remaining before the end of segment 1. Look at that, Dave. Drivers in the top 5 are now saving some gas. The 9 of Paul Servant clutching that sucker in. 87 right on the second, doing the exact same thing. Jason Kinzer, William Flamholtz, and the 4 of Justin Levine. These guys saving some gas before the end of the segment.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, that was our caution. So, well, actually, that was our second caution of the night. So, that means that we will not have a competition yellow at the end of the segment. So at the end of the segment, if we are still green flag, they will stay green flag racing.
Yeah, we're going to have some drivers getting the waiver on the pace car. We do have Daniel Harrington, Zachary Hale, and Mark Jorgensen all getting waved around the pace car this time by getting 1 lap back. Speaking of Mark Jorgensen, looks like Mark is back on the lead lap already in the 9th place spot behind the 6-6 of Bobby Tinch. I haven't spoken much of Bobby Tinch tonight, but he does know how to get the job done and should be up front here in no time so far, rounding up the top 10. Oh, actually, just got bumped down to 11th place as I spoke, but going back up front, we are now back 1 to green, being led by Paul Servant with the help of the 11 of Ken of Jason Kinzer. On the outside is the 87 written on the second with the help of the 21 of William Flamholtz. Let's see about a 2-lap shootout to the end of segment 1.
Well, actually, since technically it'll be lap 26 at the end, we are going to have a 3-lap shootout here for the end of segment 1.
Oh, that's absolutely right. I apologize for my bad math skills, but yep, that's in between laps 25 through 26. So a 3-lap shootout, and Dave, all the drivers will be racing as hard as they can, as hard and legal as possible to try and be among the top 5. We have so many drivers: Christopher Berry, Thomas Labarque, Corey Boudinot, Gregory Thompson, Roger Stewart, Bobby Tinch, all these guys trying to get into these top 5, and I just read from 6th place down to 10th place drivers. So this will make things extra interesting. Let's see. Let's get the job done, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on to your seats. It will be a bumpy ride.
Yep, as the pace car is now bringing them out into turn number 3. They are double file, ready to go back green flag racing. Paul Servant controlling this restart as they are now coming out of turn 4, waiting on the pace car to dip off. Pace car out of turn 4. These guys are tightening it up, bumper to bumper, ready for that white green flag to fly, as the pace car is now off onto pit road. Green flag is out. Off goes Paul Servant with Jason Kinzer. Oh, looks like the 21 of Flamholtz either spun his tires or missed a gear, but that is just going to leave the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer out by himself as everybody behind Flamholtz had to check up.
Oh, yep, that causes a very, very big pile up on the outside line, and so far the inside line is the place to be. And William Flamholtz is not getting up to speed as quick as he might want to. Looks like he has his damage on the right front, Dave. Is definitely slowing that machine down. They're going to take him 3 wide. Nope, 81 of Chris Berry being a team player, and will stay with him. He's being pushed from behind. Nope, Chris Berry has no chance but to get around the 21 of William Flamholtz. 34 of Corey Brunot will stay high to help 21 of William Flamholtz here before too long. But the inside line still getting around the 21 William Flamholtz. 34. Oh, 21 William Flamholtz gets into the wall. Is he going to stay up there? Yes, he does. And he will go in 5th place, the back of the pack, in less than a lap.
Yeah, most definitely. Meanwhile, Paul Servant leading this field here. We've got the start of the outside lane. Looks like the 5 and the 7 machine. That is going to be Tom LaBar and Gregory Thompson trying to make moves on the outside. Here comes the 11 of Jason Kinzer. He is going to jump up and make us a 3-car field here, as we are now 2 laps until the end of this segment.
And they are catching up to a driver who will be going a lap down here before too long. 58 of James Peterson will be staying high to let the drivers buy contact up front. The 11 of Jason Kinzer and Raymond the second make contact, but no harm done. And Peterson stays high to let everybody buy. No harm done there. And look at that, Dave, without any help on the outside. Well, he was having help, but not off turn 4. They were disconnected. But Kinzer was able to still take the lead away from the 9 of Paul Servant this lap.
Yep, we got a half a lap left as they are now coming out of turn number 2, coming down the backstretch. Next time across the line, that will tell us who's going to get the bonus points.
Oh, look at that. The outside is the place to be so far, leading a big nose entering turn number 3. 11 of Kinzer going to drop down. Nope, he stays high to help his the driver who is pushing him, the 5 of the Thomas LaBar being pushed by the 7 of Gregory Thompson. 3-car push for the lead. Let's see who takes it.
Jason Kinzer is going to get the 5 bonus points. Paul Servant Jason Kinzer is going to get, let's take a look here. Jason Kinzer will get 5, Paul Servant 4, Thomas LaBar will get 3, Gregory Thompson will get 2 bonus points, and Raymond Rittenauer will get 1 bonus point. That was the end of segment 1. We are now into segment number 2.
And look at that, Dave, some 3 wide. We have Rod Newford and the 88er Mark Jorgensen, who just went from about 10th place to 1st place in 1 lap, getting around the whole entire field, as though they were sitting on jack stands. And so far, Rod Newford is being shown 1 lap down, trying to get his lap back the hard way. And they are clear of the inside. They drop back down to the inside in front of the 9 of Paul Servant, their teammate. But the 11 of Jason Kinzer has a lot to say about that. He's going to take him 3 wide. Nope, he rides so far, and will work with them at the moment. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of segment number 1. So it'd be a good time for us to take our first commercial break of tonight's race. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Cyber Racing Association Drive for Autism Super Speedway Series here for round number 11 of the CRA season, regular season, right before the chase begins. And after one race, with next week being the final race right before the chase. So here tonight, so far we are still green, being led by 88 Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 4 of Justin Levine 2nd, 11 Jason Kinzer 3rd, Thomas Labarre 4th, and Paul Servant in the 5th place spot. That is 1 through 5th right there. We have Jeremy Funk and Bobby Tinch working together so far. They have finally caught this lead pack due to having a bad restart last restart. They were further back in the pack, but they have now they worked together and finally caught this lead pack. And speaking of the lead pack, it is catching up to a slower machine. That will be the 21 William Flamholtz. Flamholtz will stay high to let the drivers by.
Yeah, right there, right behind Mark Jorgensen Jr. is the 3 of Rodney Wolford. He is 1 lap down, so unfortunately he would have to get around his teammate there and get back. So he is just kind of biding his time. Right now we got 3 race span racing. We got Jorgensen Jr., we got Rodney Wolford, and Dana Osborne there. No, that's a 9 of Paul Servant there on the outside. So those 3 teammates have hooked up.
Yeah, but on the inside, the 4 of Jason Levine and the 11 of Jason Kinzer as well, working together for a common good, trying their best to stay up here. And looking at my chart right now, we have the Mark Jorgensen has 13 laps on his tires, which is 5 laps less than everybody else who stayed out during the last caution to be able to be among the top 5 for the end of the segment. So that 5-lap difference, Dave, is going to mean that the drivers who stayed out will be having to go down pit road before everybody else. That might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing.
And we're going to find out here. We're on lap 34, lap 50 coming to 51 will be the end of segment. So we'll have about 16 laps here until the end of segment number 2.
Yeah, but check out one Motorsports crew, the 4 of Levine and the 11 of Jason Kinzer have finally unhooked. The 11 of Kinzer on the inside, getting freight trained by everybody. So far, everybody preferring to be on the outside line. Not sure what's on the inside line, Dave, but it doesn't seem like anybody wants to work it.
Now, everybody knows that you can be on that inside, but that outside lane seems to be where the speed is. So they are just kind of running single file here, just waiting to try to see what everybody else is going to do.
Yeah, I have not seen so much single file in so long. So far, we have the 43 of David Anderson, the 5 Thomas Labarre, and the 0 of Dwayne Cooper here working together single file as well behind this lead pack, behind Bobby Tinch, and also 87 Raymond II, the 4 Levine has been left out high and dry on the inside by everybody. He will go from about 4th place to maybe down to about 7th place here in 1 lap.
Wouldn't that be considered low and dry?
That would be low and dry. That's a very, very good point. Oh, and so far, Levine finally jumps up to the outside line, Dave. He has been getting tired of getting left out low and dry and prefers to get left out high and dry.
Well, high and dry, low and dry. Thing is, you just don't want to be left out dry.
Absolutely. And Dave, 1 driver going down pit road, 34 of Corey Boudinot. Being the first driver pitting in, and Dwayne Cooper has now lost some speed on the inside line. Not sure what happened to him. Looks like he's not hooked up. 5 Labarre right now trying to challenge him for position. Actually, Dwayne Cooper is being shown 2 laps down, and Thomas Labarre is on the lead lap. So Dwayne Cooper is hoping for a caution so he can be able to get both laps back and be back on the lead lap with everybody else. And it's only a matter of time before people start pitting in. We have drivers Paul Servant and Raymond II. We have Justin Levine, Jason Kinzer with about 24 laps on their tires, and I believe pit window is in between laps number 25. I thought 25 was the when they would run the tanks dry, but we should keep in mind that there was a caution that they did run some of those laps under caution, so that might just change it to about lap 27. That's a guess from experience. I should say an estimate, but going back up front, 88 of Mark Jones and the 3 of Woodford are still hooked up with the 9 of Paul Servant, 3-car push with the 87 Rated on the second, trying his best to catch up to them. And right behind is the 4 of Levine and the 11 of Kinzer. Check out 1 Motorsports have once again found each other and work together, being shown 4th and 5th place so far. They most likely will be picking up the 87 of Rittenhouse. And for the back in the pack, Dave, we have some lone drivers. 82 of Daniel Harrington, the 35 Sawyer Ott have found each other again. They are hooked up. 11th and 12th place right behind them is the 20 of Lance Marsh. Lance Marsh, some heavy damage on that machine, but still going nice and strong with the help of the draft of Sawyer Ott and the 18 of, that's just the 82 of Daniel Harrington. Right behind Lance Marsh is the 7 of Gregory Thompson with some heavy damage as well.
Yeah, most definitely, but once again, Sean, we're on lap 38. We are halfway point of tonight's race. We are now just 11 laps till the end of segment number 2.
Just 11 laps remaining, but the drivers do need to pit in before the end of the segment, or else they will end up running out of gas. So it's only a matter of time here, ladies and gentlemen, before we start seeing some green flag pit stops. The drivers I talked about: Paul Servant, Justin Levine, Raymond in the second, Jason Kinzer, and also Thomas Labarre should be pitting in here in the next 2 to 3 laps. If not, they most likely could run out. And unfortunately, we have lost 2 drivers, the 8 of Dana Osborne and the 21 of William Flamholt.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see them end their night early, but I'm sure they'll be back next week, as we will be once again here at Daytona 2007. I do believe it's going to be the Camping World Trucks, and it will be an open setup race. So these drivers will be spending all week testing.
Absolutely. Gotta make that last race of the regular season before the chase begins a very, very good race. And those setups definitely will make quite the difference. And also that teamwork too is an added bonus to it. So it will make things very interesting for the end of the regular season right before the chase. Because once again, the closer we get to the end of the season, the harder the racing becomes. We'll have some green flag pit stops kicking in the 20. 88 of Mark Johnson pits in this time by Paul Servant, Thomas Labarre down pit road. Rod Newford and Dwayne Cooper all pitting in this time by, that was 5 drivers on pit road, and Dave, that passes the race lead over to the 4 of Justin Levine. Well, looks like the drivers who stayed out last caution are the ones who will stay out the longest, because Mark Jorgensen and Rod Newford, including Dwayne Cooper and Thomas Labarre, did pit in the last caution. And they did, one of the first drivers to pit in this time by Justin Levine, going down pit road this time by with 28 laps on his tires. He's smoking his tires, entering the pits. He keeps under control. Yes! He made it successfully. A great job by the 4 of Justin Levine and the 87 Reed on the second. So Justin Levine, Jason Kinzer, Raymond on the second, and Bobby Tinch down pit road, including Gregory Thompson and Roger Stewart pitting in.
Well, that's going to hand the race lead over to the 54 of Chris Akers. He is going to be followed right behind him, the 65 of Marty Ray, who I do believe it is 1 lap down. Right in front of him, the 58 of James Peterson, also 1 lap down. These guys are, I don't think they're going to be able to make it to the end of the segment.
Yeah, most likely we will not be able to make it. And speaking of the end of the segment, we have, let's see, about 9 laps remaining before the end of segment number 2. So that these drivers still need to pit in before that comes up, and the leaders just might be the the drivers who were the leaders before the pit stops kicked in. Mark Jorgensen and the 9 of Paul Servant, but that might change due to maybe other drivers having better pit entrance and exits. And speaking of Mark Jorgensen, the 3 of Rod Newford, they're still hooked up with the 9 of Paul Servant, being shown 10th, 11th, and Rod Newford being shown 1 lap down. They do get on 6th. Bobby Tinch right now trying his best to get some drivers to work with him, but so far having no luck. He has the 87 Reed on the second next in line to assist him, so he should be catching him here before too long, and they will work together.
Yeah, most definitely. As we're going to focus up front here, as we are being led by the 97 of Jeremy Funk, as he is battling the 54 of Chris Akers, the 58 of Jim Peterson. Looks like they're now 23 laps on their tires, and we are 6 laps till the end of the segment.
And we saw the last run, the drivers who stayed out the longest included the 11 of Jason Kinzer and also Justin Levine with about 28 laps on their tires. So here in the next, let's see, 4 laps, we should see them pitting in, or else they might risk running out of gas, which is not a good thing at a track like this, because they are trying their best to be there until the very end. And right now we have one driver going down pit road. This is 65 of Marty Ray pitting in this time by, I believe he is pitting in solo. Oh,
Yeah,
actually, Dave scratched that. He's not pitting in solo. He's pitting in with 49 of Ron Kingston and the 126 of Earl Arts Jr.
Yeah, that's the one thing you don't want to do here. You definitely do not want to pit alone. Not under green flag like this, because, I mean, that is going to put you way back. Well, here we are. 6 laps to the end of the segment. So, the question is, do they have enough gas? Can they save enough gas? Because we haven't had a caution in segment number 2, which means there will be a competition caution at the end of the segment.
Oh, 34 gets in the wall, heavy into the wall. He's spinning out from the track. Is the caution like to come out? Oh, he hits it one more time. Oh, man. That is very unfortunate for Corey Boudinot. He looks like he lost control on the exit of 4 and smacked the wall and lost control of it, but the green flag still stays out. That's very, very unfortunate for the 34 of Corey. Boudinot and Dave looking at that. The leaders have now pitted in Jeremy Funk and Chris Akers, and that rounds up our final round. I should say the first round of green flag pit stops.
Yep, and here comes Mark Jorgensen Jr. with his pack of Rodney Wolford and Paul Servant. They are now coming across the start-finish line. So technically, Mark Jorgensen's still showing third, but he is just now passing him, so he is going to be taking the race lead. Yep, Mark Jorgensen Jr., new race leader. Paul Servant in second with 5 laps till the end of the segment.
Yep, and they are catching up. It's 7 of Greg Thompson and the 82 of Daniel Harrington. Daniel Harrington getting his brand new backup machine. Not a single scratch on that beast. He was heavily damaged early on, but now he is back up to speed, trying his best to get some help draft-wise. But so far, having no luck. The 7 of Gregory Thompson was carrying way too much speed. That speed difference was just way too great. So he will, the gap in between them is getting nothing but bigger. And Daniel Harrington is most likely hoping the leaders pick him up. The leaders to be the 88 of Mark Jorgensen, the 3 of Wooford, and the 9 of Paul Servant. But nope, they will get around him on the outside.
Well, I am taking a look here. We only have 12 cars left on the lead lap. The 7 of Gregory Thompson, the last car on the lead lap. However, the 3 of Rodney Wolford is the car first lap down, so he would be in the lucky dog position if the yellow comes out. Here we are, lap 47 of 75. Just 29 laps remaining, but only 4 laps until the end of segment number 2.
And Dave, unfortunately, the number has gone down. The number of drivers on the lead lap from 12 drivers down to 9 drivers, with Chris Akers being the final driver on the lead lap. So Chris is trying his best to stay on this lead lap. He is being shown 27 seconds behind behind the leaders, and has no draft help at the moment. So he is hoping that drivers catch up to him, or maybe hoping for a caution, so he can be able to still stay on this lead lap. But that's very unfortunate indeed for Chris Akers, having a very, very rough season. And once again, he is the defending champion, so hopefully he can get himself locked into this chase, so he can be able to defend his championship and pretty much keep his title.
Yeah, but right now the 20 of Lance Marsh is the guy under fire, as Mark Jorgensen Jr. is catching him, getting ready to put the 20 of Lance Marsh down a lap. Sawyer Ott, then Chris Akers. So those 3 there, the leaders are catching them as they are now going around here, around the 35 and the 20. That is going to put them both a lap down. Now that is just leaving 9 cars on the lead lap.
Yikes, and the end of the segment is approaching at a very, very fast rate. 1 more lap after this lap. So I guess 1.5 laps remaining, 1.25 laps at this point. So far it's looking good for the top 3 drivers. 87 Mark Jorgensen, Raymond II, and Paul Servant as the top 3. Bobby Teach being shown 4th, and Jason Kinzer in the 5th place spot. Speaking of Jason Kinzer, he has hooked up with the 4 of Levine. They are still working together. They're getting around the lap car. They're going to go 3 wide. They make it work. No harm done for the 3 of David Anderson. Makes it stick on the inside with the help of the 00 of Dwayne Cooper.
Well, looks like the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to let the 3 of Rodney Wolford go around. that is actually going to put Rodney Wolford back on the lead lap here. So he is now running in 10th position, last car a lap down, or actually last car on the lead lap, but he is being pushed by his teammates, the 88 of Mark Jorgensen, the 9 of Paul Servant, as they are now coming out of turn number 4. This is the end of segment number 2. And it is going to be the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. taking segment number 2. Paul Servant second, Raymond Rittenauer the third, Bobby Tinch fourth, and Jason Kinzer rounding out your top 5 and getting those bonus points for the end of segment number 2. And the competition yellow is out, Sean.
Yep, long waited. The drivers did wait very long for this caution, and now most of them will be able to get back on the lead lap. But yeah, most of them should be able, because now we only had 10 drivers on the lead lap. And Sawyer Ott, Lance Marsh, Chris Berry, Roger Stewart, Gregory Thompson, Daniel Harrington, 43 of David Anderson, Ronald Kingston, Earl Arts Jr., Marty Ray, Zachary Hale, Dwayne Cooper, James Peterson, Gary Champion. These drivers will be back at a lot of these drivers will be back on the lead lap, but it looks like Dwayne Cooper, James Peterson, Gary Champion, and yeah, just those 3 drivers will be back to 1 lap down here before too long. Looking at the chat there, we do have Thunderdog 394 as a 34 of Corey Boudinot here in the race tonight. He had a very, very rough night tonight, but look forward to seeing you again there next race. And we are sorry to hear about your bad race tonight there, Corey. Yeah, but going back up front, congratulations to those top 5 drivers getting the extra bonus points here for segment number 2. So that does it for the segments, except for the final segment, which will end on lap number 75, which is when the checkered flag flies. So that will make things very, very interesting when it comes down to it. But at this point, I am guessing that the leaders should be pitting in here before too long. And ladies and gentlemen, that was end of segment number 2. This would be a good time for us to take our first commercial break of our second commercial break of tonight's race, so you guys can get your second round of popcorn and refreshments. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we are bringing you the Drive for Autism Summer Super Speedway Series with the Cyber Racing Association, guys. We are here under competition yellow here as we had just completed segment number 2. So we are still under caution here. Should be getting the 1 to go next time around. Getting ready to go back green flag racing for the final. Right about 20 laps here for the checkered flag on lap 75.
Yep, Dave, that will make things very, very interesting because at this point now it's all or nothing, and they will be able to make it the full length of the race without having to pit in anymore. So that's extra motivation for them to keep their foot down to the floor, find their teammates, find each other, and try and bring this thing home to be very good in the team standings and also the point standings. To be able to lock themselves into this chase. And looking at the teams we have racing here tonight so far, we have Radical Racing, Dwayne Cooper, Bobby Tinch, Chris Akers, and James Peterson. We also have Checker One Motorsports, Justin Levine, Zachary Hale, Gary Champion, and Jason Kinzer. We have Race Fan Racing, Rodney Woodford, Mark Jorgensen, and Paul Servant. Dana Osborne has had an early night, unfortunately. Rebel Racing with Ray Marina II and Sawyer Ott racing together, a two-man team here tonight. Stewart Racing, we have Roger Stewart and Travis Stewart being a spotter for him. Looks like Travis Stewart is not able to make it. Very unfortunate for Travis. And Sim Nation Racing, Marty Ray and Thomas Labar as a two-man team. So we have so many teams out there racing together against other teams for a common good. And we are now 1-2 green, and we have lost one more driver. We just lost him as we spoke. The 126 of Earl Arts Jr. Hope to see this driver and Corey Boudinot back again next week at the same track, but with the trucks. Well, this lineup, we have Bobby Tinge with help 11 of Jason Kinzer on the inside. On the outside is Raymond Rittenhouse II. Jeez, I can never say it right. It's like a tongue twister for me. And Mark Jorgensen right behind him on the outside.
Well, I tell you what, Sean, no more pit stops needed to be able to make it. 21 laps to go, 20 when we get to checkered flag. All drivers down on pit road except for the 62 of Zachary Hale. But almost every other driver, we can definitely make it on field. So we are going to have a shootout, 20 laps for the checkered flag.
It makes me wonder why Zachary Hale decided to stay out, being the only drivers who still need to pit in. Looks like actually he just got the wave around. So it was either he gets the wave around or stays out. I mean, gets the wave around or goes down pit road and not get the wave around. The pace car dips off. The green flag flies. 11 of Kinzer right behind Bobby Tinch on the inside line. On the outside, Mark Jorgensen pushing on the 87 of Rittenhouse the second. And so far trying their best to outshift each other before the entrance to turn number 1. The outside just might propel on the exit of 2 with the help of the, that's going to be the 9 of Paul Servant being the third machine on the outside. This is the 4 of Chris Akers, who's going to be assisting the outside line with the momentum increase on the backstretch. Then Paul Servant sneaks up in front of the 97 of Jeremy Funk, and that does cause a checkup on the outside, but 97 of Funk does push on the 9 of Paul Servant.
What a race here, but man, it looks like nobody wants to be on that inside. Everybody's wanting to be in the outside. The 54 there having a little bit of a blink issue. Kind of straightens up there as he is right behind the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. The 9 of Paul Servant. You see the 3 of Rodney Wolford back there, but he's just not able to hook up with his teammates right now.
Yep, he is trying his best to hook up with them, but for the back of the pack, 43 of David Anderson has made his way up here into the 11th place spot. He was lapped down a couple of laps back. He's now back on the lead lap, trying to sneak into this top 10 behind the 3 of Rod Newford, who are side by side so far. And Rod Newford is on the inside. He is boxed in, so he will be trying his best to get up to the outside line, which is moving so far. And the inside seems to be lagging back quite a bit, like you had talked about. Nobody wants to be on the outside line, on the inside line, and it is suffering as a result. But the outside line still propelling nice and strong on the exit of every single turn. Big check up on the outside line. 43 of David Anderson checks up for the 7 of Gregory Thompson, who did check up after almost getting loose off the exit of turn number 4 and going back up front. Raymond II is still leading the outside with the help of the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. challenges the 666 of Bobby Tinch Gosh.
A little tongue-tied there today, are you, Sean?
Very tongue-tied. I think it's too much sugar, Dave.
Well, I think you need to take some advice from Joe White and maybe eat a cookie.
That's actually a very good point, yeah. I'll eat a cookie here before this race ends. And maybe
You ain't gotta wait for that. He eats them right during the broadcast. I did a broadcast with him last night. Caught him twice eating cookies while we were calling the exciting race action last night.
I just might try that. Hopefully that fixes my problem.
Well, just make sure you have a glass of milk with you. Can't eat cookies without some milk.
Oh, and 49 of Ron Kingston right now behind 43 of David Anderson. So far they are hooked up, but they have nowhere to go so far. On the inside, big check of 11 of Jason Kids right behind the 66 Bobby Tinch. Looks like they ended up getting a little bit out of shape. And to avoid hooking each other, 11 of Kinzer did back off. But the outside line is still the place to be. The both leaders of the outside, Bobby Tinch, the 88 of Mark Jorgensen and Raymond the second are all clear. And 2 of Chris Akers. So 3 drives on the outside are clear of the inside, but still decide to stay high.
Yeah, I think I know what the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer is doing. He's seen how Mark Jorgensen and them were running. Oh man, he gets pushed. Well, not pushed, he drifts high. They are 3 wide right now as just the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer there is on the outside. Well, man, 3 wide action. They are really wanting to win this race.
Yep, trying to be at the right place at the right time, trying to be up front to try and be there until the very end. And so far, having 16 laps remaining, less than 20 laps remaining here before the checkered flag flies. Extra motivation for the drivers to find 5th gear at this point, to be up there before too long for the back in the pack. The 82 of Daniel Harrington is back in this mix behind the 49 of 49 gets into the wall on the outside. They're going to take him 3 wide. He gets into the wall once again. That's the 49 of Ronald Kingston. He tried taking it 3 wide, but there's not enough grip on the outside line, the 3rd lane that is. So he ended up smacking that wall, which did really hug him. It just claimed him, gladly claimed him. And unfortunately, he will go from 11th place to the back of the pack here in no time. Gets overtaken by both the 58 of Peterson and the 81 of Christopher Berry. And 49 of 6 of Roger Stewart will pick him up and try and work together.
Yeah, James Peterson back there running with Christopher Berry in the 16th and 17th position. Unfortunately, they are out of the draft, but they are hoping that Ronald Kingston, Roger Stewart there, and the 20 of Lance Marsh can get up to him and give them that boost so that they can try to get back up and catch that lead pack.
Yeah, good thing they still have a little bit of time to get the job done and accomplish that. And so far we have also Marty Ray on the inside behind 35 of Sawyer Odds on the inside right now is getting now bunched up. It has now finally come back to life. It is more hooked up, more bunched up than it was early on. And because of that, the momentum is getting nothing but higher with every single lap or with every single turn. And as we speak, the 87 written on the second is trying his best to still lead as many laps as he can here and is still being shown as the race leader. This time by 12, Chris Akers right behind him. Chris Akers here having a better race than usual. It started 26th and currently in 3rd place, gaining 23 spots this far.
Yeah, and taking a look here, Sean, we've only got 13 laps remaining, so they are putting on a good stint here. Let's take a look at our race report. I don't think we've looked at it so far tonight. Here we are. 3 cautions here tonight for 9 laps. 16 lead changes as we are being led by Raymond Rittenauer. However, it looks like Dwayne Cooper, though, back in 22nd position, actually has the fastest lap time on the track with a 43.944.
Yeah, speaking of Dwayne Cooper, he has lost the draft. I'm not sure we talked about that, but he has lost the draft, and he is being caught at a very, very fast rate by this lead pack. Oh, caution flies. The leader, Mark Jorgensen, is spinning out sideways. Oh, man, that's very unfortunate for Mark Jorgensen. But let's back it up on Mark Jorgensen and see what happened.
Well, as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting Instant Replay here, we are going to focus on the 88 Mark Jorgensen Jr. See if we can see exactly what happened. is he was leading. Oh, it actually started with the 87 and the 54 of Chris Akers. The 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. was just unfortunately involved in that. Let's rewind that here, take another look. As we are going to rewind it once again here and take a look. The 54 goes up in front of the 87 and just a bad contact there. That's going to involve quite a few drivers. So this is going to shake up out front, Sean.
Will really shake up that front indeed, and Mark Johnson not a happy man at this point. He will be trying his best to do it all over again. He will have no choice but to go down pit road and get a brand new machine. Hopefully he still has, I believe Mark Johnson should still have his backup car, because I don't believe he's been involved in anything here tonight. So that's going to be a very, very good thing for Mark. But going back up front, we are being led by Paul Servant, Gregory Thompson second, David Anderson third, Bobby Tinch fourth, and Jason Kinzer in the fifth place spot so far, rounding up the top five with only one or two drivers needing to pit in due to being involved in the last incident that brought the caution. We have a new viewer in the chat. Augie, good to see you there, buddy.
Sure what happened, but the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer coming down on the pit road, got seen him slide through the grass. So let's pull up the Dre broadcast and replay here. We are going to focus on the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer the second. See if we can see exactly what happened here. As I am going to rewind it here. Looks like he was coming around trying to get back into his right spot. Went to go down on pit road, didn't see the 11 down there. Made contact and he spun around there. So I don't know if he was trying to get in front of the 11 or trying to make it down on pit road.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate indeed for Raymond on the second, and 11 of Jason Kinzer are both involved in that incident there. And Raymond gets his brand new machine and is now back out on the track as we speak with 10 laps remaining. This will be quite the ride. We have a new viewer in the chat. That's Gone Fishing TV. Hope your sprint race went well, buddy, and good to see you.
That's good to see. He likes to watch us every night. Love them dedicated viewers. I love all of our viewers. I mean, Sean, they're the reason that we come out here and put on all these broadcasts night after night.
Oh, absolutely, and we cannot thank you guys enough, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching us every single time we go live and being active in the chat. That really takes us a long way here in these broadcasts. And if you haven't yet already, let us know who you're rooting for here tonight, because the game has changed by the looks of it. We had some favorites early on who have unfortunately been caught up in some incidents and have retired for the night. So if you want to change your picks, this would be the time. Just let us know. And it will be a bumpy ride into the very end. Now 9 laps remaining. Here we are. 1 to green. Nope. Still 2 to green. But next time we will be 1 to green.
Which, Sean, that'll mean we have 7 laps. A 7-lap shootout. But, another scenario. We'll have 7 to go on the drop of the green flag. If a caution comes out in those first 3 laps, we will go back green flag racing. However, if they complete those first 3 laps before the caution comes out, the next flag will end the race.
Yep, and with that said, if they complete the 3 laps and they know the next flag ends it, that will mean they will race as hard as they possibly can to try and be at the right place, in the right place, because they know the next flag ends it. That's why they can be able to secure themselves. Pretty much just race it as hard as they can. At that point, it's going to be all or nothing. Bring the steering wheel home or bring the checkered flag home. One of the two, and nothing in between. And 11 of Kinzer Dave does have some damage on the machine due to making contact with the 87 written at the second during the pit road incident. But by looks of it, David shouldn't affect him too much. Just a scratch by looks of it.
Well, we're going to find out shortly enough, Sean.
Yeah, we saw 21 of William Flamholtz last time. He had similar damage. It didn't seem to be too bad, but his machine did not want to go. It did really stack up the field. So hopefully that's not the case with the 11 of Jason Kinzer here. And we are now coming to the 1 to green mark. Drivers clutching these suckers in, trying to see some gas. We have one driver getting the wave around the pace car. It's the 18 of Gary Champion. Gary Champion back to 1 lap down this time by with 8 laps remaining, or 9 laps remaining.
Yep, we're gonna have a shootout. Can't wait for it. I mean, this is plate track racing. I mean, we got this race, and then next week, then we start the chase. So, you know, these drivers need to get that win to get in.
Yeah, that win would be very, very, very beneficial for them. And so far, it's going to be very interesting because we have so many drivers every single driver trying to get locked into the chase, but they can only take 16 drivers. So, which makes things very, very interesting for us up in the booth because it makes the racing even more intense. We have some heavy movers so far. Jason Kinston from 27th to 2nd, Jeremy Funk 23rd to 4th, Justin Levine from 16th to 5th, Thomas Labar from 15th to 7th, Sawyer Ott from 24th to 8th, and Marty Ray from 18th to 9th this far. Roger Stewart from 20th to 12th. And Lance Marsh 22nd to 13th. Going green this time by. They are still on the back straightaway. And yep, we're going to have 7 laps remaining. Once the green flag flies, we have Carroll cheering on the 58 of James Peterson, who is still in this thing to win it, being shown back in the 11th place position, right behind 82 of Daniel Harrington. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hang on to your seats. It will be a bumpy ride. Less than 10 laps to go. You know what that means. It just might become a survival race here because we are close to the chase. These guys are going to be in the right place at the right time. So fingers crossed once again. Keep hang on to your seats and make sure the popcorn is in one place. And same as your refreshments, don't put them all over the place due to how intense this thing might get. Exiting turn 4 this time by pace car dips off. The green flag flies. They put it in the floor 43 of David Anderson right behind the 9 post on the inside line. On the outside is the 11 of Justin Kids with help of the 97 of Jeremy Funk. They already hooked up here before turn 1.
Yep. Looks like most of the teammates here, especially from Race Span, spread out. But as you said, 7 laps to go to the checkered flag. The 5 of Thomas Labar there, flirting just a little bit with that apron there, Sean.
Yeah, trying to let the apron know that he owns this apron. He owns that apron. But let's see what the apron has to say about it. And so far, 5 of Labar being pushed to the 65 of Marty Ray. But they are now boxed 3 wide. 3 before it goes down the middle with help of the 35 of Sawyer Ott. That bumps up. That's going to be the 97 of Jeremy Funk on the outside. 3 wide, left out high and dry.
Well, I saw a lot of smoke behind them, but it doesn't look like that's going to bring out the yellow flag. Not sure here. Looks like maybe the 18 of Gary Champion might have been involved there. Not sure. Maybe the 7 of Gregory Thompson. Let's see if I can pull it up on replay. Well, as we're going to try to see exactly what happened because I saw a bunch of smoke. We are green flag racing here. Let's see if I can see. Actually, Sean, I don't see it, so unfortunately we're not going to get it on the replay.
Yeah, Dave, looks like it was the W of Dwayne Cooper who got a piece of the action. Dwayne Cooper and the 49 of Ronald Kingston got a piece of it. The W of Dwayne Cooper did go sideways on the track. He was pretty much 90 degrees from his starting position and somehow still straightened it out, and that did not bring out a caution.
Yep, and now we're 5 to go, so just probably about a lap and a half. Lap and a half to go. Then anything, a flag after that. That means that's going to freeze the field. Oh, taking a look here. David Anderson gets a loose. He's got heavy damage now.
Oh, and the caution does fly here with about 5 laps remaining. Holy cow. Let's back it up on the 3 of Woodford and see what happened.
Well, as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting instant replay here, we are going to take a look here at the 3 of Rodney Woodford here. He was on his roof there. He was running in the outside lane. He tried to go dive down under the 11, made contact with David Anderson, and he gets up on his roof. You know what? I think we need to take a look at that from the cockpit view here. So give me 1 second here. Oh, there he goes. He is spinning around and around. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what he was seeing as he was spinning around. But that is going to be a caution. The question is are we going to go back green flag racing? So we have to wait and see what iRacing's going to say about this.
Oh man, yep, a wreck with 5 laps to go. If we're lucky enough, that might give us a 1-lap shootout. So it will make things interesting, but if not, that might just end the race under caution. But just like David said, we're gonna see what iRacing has to say about it. But fingers crossed, and hopefully we do have at least, you know, a 1 or 2 lap shootout. That would be a very, very good thing. And so far in the top 5, we have Paul Servant, Jason Kinzer, David Anderson, Justin Levine, and Sawyer Ott as first through 5th, respectively. And looking at the chat there, Gone Fishing TV was rooting on the, let's see, that was a 9, Paul Servant, for 3, David Anderson, 11 of Justin Kinzer, 3 of Wooford, and the 4 of Justin Levine, rooting for 4. Yeah, that's a very good thing, you know, rooting for a lot of drivers, so I'm not disappointed, because, you know, one of them could most likely bring it home.
Yep, we are now three laps to go, as we are under caution here, so we are waiting to see if we are going to go back green flag racing, or did that caution end the race. 3 laps to go, as we are under caution now for our 5th caution of the night.
Yep, and knowing that we only have a few laps remaining, 3 laps remaining, nobody's pitting in. Well, we have Chris Akers on pit road. No, he has been on there for a very, very long time. But yep, nobody pitting in this time. So they are staying out with whatever damage they might have. Because at this point, you know, they are trying their best to be out there in case this finish is under caution. They want to finish as high as they can before the race is over. And we have a new viewer in the chat. That's going to be Camel Tony. Good to see you there, Camel. Unfortunately, Dave, we have lost one more driver, the 81 of Christopher Berry.
Yeah, he'll bounce back, be back next week, so can't wait to see. We are now coming to turns 3 and 4. Sean, if we're going to go back green flag racing, we are going to need the pace lights to be shut off this time.
Yep, let's focus on that pace car and see exactly what happens as soon as we cross start finish line. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. Oh, well, Dave, unfortunately, we have some bad news. This race will end under caution. The lights of the pace car still stay on, and the top 5 will stay as follows here. Paul Servant, Jason Kinzer, David Anderson, Justin Levine, and Sawyer Ott has the top 5.
Yep, so that is going to give the win to the 9 of Paul Servant. He is going to be tonight's race winner.
Yep, and this will give Paul Servant his 2nd win of the season, right before the final race for next week at the exact same track, 2007 Daytona International Speedway. With the trucks, it will be an open setup compared to this, which is a fixed setup. So the drivers will have a chance to pretty much set up the machines the way the best of their ability or liking. They might set them up to be loose or tight, or just pretty much put in the middle, which is not too fast and not too slow either. But that makes things very interesting, and the teamwork will definitely play a very key factor. And once again, final race of the regular season before the chase begins. That will mean the final race, the final chance for them to get themselves locked into the chase. So fingers crossed for next week, but it has been an amazing race today. Unfortunately, David, tonight's race did claim a lot of drivers. Basically, a lot of drivers did have an early night. We had William Flamos, Corey Boudinot, Christopher Berry, Earl Arts Jr., and Dana Osborne. But we look forward to seeing all these drivers back again next week at the exact same track.
Yep, all these drivers. We still got quite a few drivers that'll be battling to be in that top 16 to get into the chase. So next week should be an exciting race, as these guys be their last opportunity to make it here into the race, to the chase.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing is the drivers did have a lot of practice with these machines here at this track. Well, it will be a little bit different because they're going to trucks at the same time. It's going to be the same track but open setups. That will make the handling a lot different. But the good thing about the trucks compared to these K&N cars is that the trucks are a little bit more stable compared to these machines. These machines are very, very loose. They do seem to be a bit too touchy. That's why you see it's very easy to hook in the K&N cars compared to the trucks, because the trucks are a little bit more stable than these K&N cars. So that will make the racing even more intense there than it was here tonight with the K&N cars. And this is the final lap, and Paul Servant still leading at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, he ran a good race. He was in the right position at the right time. So, looks like Jason Kinzer also a good race coming out in second. David Anderson coming out in third. Coming out in fourth, Justin Levine, Sawyer Ott rounding out your top five. So, I mean, it was a good race here. So, definitely got to give all these drivers credit.
Just like I talked about Dave in the beginning of the race, these guys most likely have had their workout for the day with all those bumps and that force feedback going wild and crazy. That's a little massage. And right now we are now exiting turn 4 for the final time as we speak. Paul Servant, Jason Kinzer, David Anderson, Justin Levine, Sawyer Ott first through pit respectively. 80 miles an hour. Paul Servant will bring this thing home unchallenged for a second win of the season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will interview top 3 drivers, Paul Servant, Jason Kinzer, and David Anderson, so stay tuned. And we will focus on the 9 of Paul Servant, and hopefully we see a smoke show at the very end. And Paul Servant, all eyes on you, buddy, so please blind us, buddy, blind us. Well, that's tonight's race winner doing Race Fan Racing proud. The 9 of Paul Servant having his second win of the season with his 6th top 5. Get a cup there, Paul?
Yes, I do.
How you doing tonight?
Awesome.
Well, Paul, tonight you did an amazing job going from 3rd place last week to winning here tonight at Daytona 2007. Tell us about your race tonight.
Awesome. You know, the team worked well all night. Mark had the start in the back there, lap down. He worked his butt off to get it back, man. An awesome job on his part. Rodney himself too. You know.
Oh, absolutely. That was amazing teamwork on you guys' part. And looking at your race from last week there, Paul, you were one of the victims who was claimed pretty much just riding on your roof in every single direction possible, spinning. But tonight you did keep your 4 wheels on the racing surface and was able to stay unscratched despite all those heavy battles going on all throughout the whole entire track. But tell us about your green flag pit stops too. They seem to be successful because you guys did pit in as a team and exited as a team in the lead.
Yeah, well, we hooked up, the 3 of us, and I don't know, we had like a 4th or 5th gear. I mean, we were flying, and I think 4th place was like 11 seconds behind us. We pitted. Awesome pit jobs. We were flying, man. Rodney, Mark did an awesome job. Unfortunately, we lost Dana there earlier on. Too bad.
Oh, 10 for most definitely, but it was an amazing race on you guys' part. Great teamwork as usual every single week. And this gives you once again your second win of the season. Very, very impressive. And going into this chase, we look forward to seeing you prosper, and hopefully you can take the championship after it. Even though it's gonna be it's still your rookie year or your rookie season with the CRA. Oh, but totally good final words.
I want to thank Rob, Dwayne, you guys, my team, all my teammates. They did an awesome job tonight. We got a new sponsor for the chase, James Homeless thing there. I forget the name of it. I'm too excited here. Yeah, you know, in the famous words of Mark Jorgensen, woo!
Oh, 10-4, buddy. Well, Paul, congratulations once again on your success tonight. And look forward to seeing you again next week at the exact same track, but with the trucks. Have a good night, buddy. Go celebrate.
Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
And that was Race Fan Racing's own the 9 of Paul Servant having his second win this season, but right behind him is the 11 of Jason Kinzer representing Checker One Motorsports. Get a call up there, Jason.
10-4, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I can't complain, man. Come home second after all that. That was a great race.
Man, that was a great race indeed on your part, and tonight, unlike all other nights, you were able to stay alive and be there for the very end. Very impressive. And just want to congratulate you on being the hardest charger tonight, heaviest mover from 27th place to 2nd place, gaining 25 spots overall. Tell us about your race, man. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I just tried to start it back and you know, feel everything out, see how it all was going. We had that first caution, and I come out in a pretty good position and got up front and ended up winning the first stage. And then I believe I finished 5th in the second stage and just kind of stayed up there consistently for the rest of the race, at least tried to. Couldn't have done it without the help of Justin Levine, quite a few other teammates, Thomas Labar, Zach Hale. Unfortunately, he didn't have all that great a race, but he makes all of our paint schemes, and he's always out there. He's always trying to make a team effort, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. That was amazing seeing you work through your way through this field, being hooked up with the 4 of Levine. We noticed you guys had some trouble hooking up there in the beginning, but you guys were able to still get the job done regardless, finishing in the top 5 as teammates. Very impressive. With junior teammates proud, the 18 of Gary Champion and Zachary Hale. Unfortunately, Zachary Hale, like you said, didn't have the best race tonight, but it was still amazing seeing you guys work as a team here tonight against the all other teams. 2007 Daytona International. And tell us how the setup handled tonight, because usually these things are very touchy, but tonight it seemed to be a little bit more stable than usual.
Yeah, they've been working with it and everything else. They made a couple little tweaks on it. It's handling it a lot better, especially when you're up there. As you can see up top, man, it handles like a dream. That's where everybody wanted to be tonight.
And that explains exactly why the inside was getting freight trained. For a very long time, it was exactly that reason. That makes a lot of sense now, but it was still nice seeing you work together with teammates, despite you getting dumped at one point by everybody else, going to the outside line and being the only driver on the inside, going from front to back in a hurry. But you're still able to get back up here and gain 25 spots overall in tonight's race, having your first top 5 of the season here tonight at 2007 Daytona International. Oh, but if I know it's before I let you go.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank Dwayne and Cyber and everybody else that helps put this together, Radical Racing, and like Paul was talking about, it's Homes Now. It's by Jim Peterson, man. It's a great organization. It's come on to help and everything else too. And y'all put on an awesome broadcast every week. Thank y'all.
Well, Jason, congratulations on your success here tonight. Look forward to seeing you again next week at the exact same track, but with the tracks with your whole entire team. And go celebrate, buddy. You earned it.
Yeah, thank y'all, man. Hopefully we can pull it off.
And that was Checker One's own 11 of Jason Kinzer, but right behind him is the returning driver, the 43 of David Anderson. Good to come up there, David.
Yeah, I got a copy.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, hi, I'm doing good too, thank you. Well, David, it's been way too long, man. You've had 3 starts this season, and we haven't seen you for the longest time known to mankind. How have you been?
I've been great. You know, it's baseball season, and I don't have any time to race. I'm usually watching baseball. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, though, you know, coming out here, and I, you know, certainly appreciate Dwayne, you know, for putting this thing together, and I appreciate him allowing me to race tonight, even though I haven't been here. And you know, I don't have a team, and so it's really difficult when you're racing around, you know, all these race fan group and everybody else, that not getting any help, you know, and started third, finished third. It was eventful. I went all the way back and then made my way all the way back to the front. And yeah, it was a fun race though.
Oh, most definitely, man. You have to do what you have to do. And yeah, it was amazing seeing you finish in third place where you started, despite having no teammate and everybody else having at least 1 or 2 teammates with them working against you, but you were able to be at the right place at the right time and just pretty much stay alive, which is the most important thing here tonight, was staying alive, because those bumps did really claim a lot of drivers with a few bumper hooks here and there, and the green flag pit stops. And speaking of green flag pit stops, with you having no teammates, how were you able to succeed?
Well, it was horrible, actually. The one time I pitted under green, I think that was the only time we pitted under green, but the one time I did, I was in a pack of 4 or 5 cars and they all pitted at the same time. So I had to make my way all the way around, you know, going as slow as it feels. And yeah, I came out and you know, I was a lap down because I got caught up in a wreck earlier. And, you know, finally we had a caution, or lap 50, I guess, you know, we were able to pit and got my lap back. And at that point, I just started making my way towards the front again, you know, and it was, you know, relatively easy actually. But once you get there, it's hard to go any further without any teammates. So yeah, I mean, I think I had a pretty good race.
Oh, copy that. Well, Dave, we are glad to hear you had an amazing race after an amazing race for your return here tonight at 2007 Daytona International. Next week, we'll be racing at the exact same track, Dave, but with the trucks open setup. You think you have what it takes to spank these boys for the final race?
Well, I think I've always got a shot, you know, because I qualify up front normally, and so, you know, that gives you a pretty good opportunity to, you know, make something happen. You never know. I'll give it all I got.
Oh, copy that. That is the spirit right there. That's exactly what we like to hear. Stay determined and get the job done. You did work against the drivers. You worked against all the teammates here tonight. And you were able to finish in the 3rd place on the podium after having quite a return, which was very, very impressive on your part. So next week, you have nothing to worry about, and you will definitely spark these guys without even trying. Well, before you go into final words.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to thank Dwayne, you know, for putting this league together and allowing me to race. It's always a good time, and you guys do a great job broadcasting. And yeah, that's it. Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations on your return here, David, on your 3rd place finish, and look forward to seeing you again next week at the exact same track, but with the trucks. Have a good night and go celebrate.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night.
And that was 43 David Anderson finishing in 3rd place, just in case of 2nd, and Paul Servant first for a 2nd win of the season. And Dave, that was an amazing race. We saw some drivers flipping on their lids. The 8 of Dana Osborne was our victim tonight on his lid and spinning in every single direction possible. Last week it was the 9 of Paul Servant. So it looks like it's working through the exact same team. It's going through the Race Fan Racing team. So hopefully next week it won't be any of the Race Fan Racing team drivers on their lids. But that gives us something to look forward to. Same track once again with the trucks. So fingers crossed, final race of the regular season right before the chase begins. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of the action all season long. Without you guys, we are nothing. We can never thank you guys enough. Any thoughts there, Dave?
Well, it was a great race, but I'm looking forward to next week. Last race before the chase, so I'm looking forward to it. Once again, we'll be back here at Daytona 2007, so can't wait.
Yep, and tonight was round number 11 right before round number 12, final race of the regular season. So thank you once again for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and for being active in the chat, and for cheering on the drivers, and also cheering on the Dre Broadcasting Network. If you are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get notified every single time we go live, because we are live 6 nights a week. Different leagues, different drivers, different racetracks, different machines. Everything's different except for the excitement. It stays nothing but high and gets nothing but higher with every single race. Well, the next broadcast we have will be tomorrow night at the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So if you guys would like to be a part of that as well, don't forget to tune in then. It's going to be the B cars at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I am Sean Zulu, and Dave Everly behind the cameras, and thank you for watching. Have a good night.